Welcome back to another episode 13 of 2Ds on a Pod. We are running the show now. I can actually say the intro as well, so we're living life. Sorry about the audio last week, kind of fucked all that up. Move. So that's my first, I think that's my first fuck up actually.
Yeah, I've had numerous, don't worry.
We've been pretty blessed so far. We are rookies in the industry, but soon we'll probably be in a studio just rocking it hard.
When that Spotify deal's coming through next week.
We might even go with Spotify. Like, Apple have been popping up a little bit and just out of nowhere.
Why don't we go Pandora exclusive?
Exactly. We should create our own platform actually. There was one girl I was talking to at work and she had a podcast. I'm like, oh, you have a podcast? Like, what the fuck? I didn't say I had a podcast. And then she was like, oh yeah, it's like all through this app and it's just 4 friends. It's not even a podcast, but it's like 4 friends and they, it's like a Snapchat group and they just talk about their day and then I don't even know what it's called, to be honest. I probably should put more thought into this. But I saw that you got a new little present this week. And it's from your best mate, Jeremy. And I messaged Jeremy. I'm like, oh, do you still have this present? Or he's giving away this big present. And he's like, no, I gave it to Dylan, just dropped it off. I'm like, damn, Dylan got it first. And yeah, you want to tell us about it?
So for the people at home, Jeremy was doing some cleaning around his garage and came across this nice old gym set, kind of all-in-one system.
Wasn't the dildo that you found last week?
No, it wasn't that. I wish it was. But... So it's this gym set, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, I want to start working out from home.
Yeah.
So I messaged him, and he's like, you can either come pick it up from Uche, or I'll pay me $15 and I'll drop it off.
Good. What? How long? 25-minute drive out that way.
At least. Yeah. So I was like, I've never sent someone $15 quicker. I was like straight to him. I was like, just drop it off whenever you want. So like half an hour, 45 minutes later, he calls me and he's like, oh, I'm out the front. So we start unloading it, and I'm looking, and I'm like, fuck, I didn't realize it was going to be I didn't know what I was expecting, but I didn't expect it to be.
Did he send you a photo of it?
He sent me a photo that he sent to the group chat of it made, not in pieces. Yeah. So we started unloading it in pieces, and it's got all these spider webs and shit on there. And then he hands me a bag of just bolts, and there's a DVD in the bag, and he's like, there's the instructions on the DVD, and here's all the bolts for it. Yeah. And he looks at the thing and he goes, this isn't what the gym looks like, but I'm sure the instructions are on there for it. So I'm like,
so
fuck.
It could be a completely different set to the CD.
It looks nothing alike. Yeah, is what we're gonna nothing. Yeah. So anyway, I have a look. I load into the garage. And I'm like, I'm not building this day. Fuck that. So we go to a mate's house, Caleb, for drinks, and then the next morning I can't be bothered making this gym for the entire day. Yeah. So what do? I think, last time I had family over, I remember my uncle wanted to start working out. So I messaged my uncle, hey, are you still trying to get into fitness? Yeah. Oh yeah, I am. Why is that? Oh, my mate just gave me a gym, but I'm not going to be able to really use it at mine too much. Do you want it? And he's like, yeah. He picked it up that day, and I've not had to set it up.
So you've handled it off that quickly. Because I was wondering, I was like, there's no way Dylan's going to be able to put this together, and he's already handballed it off.
He'll be able to do it. It's not completely fucked, but I don't have the patience to be able to sit there and do that for an entire day.
Because it's one of those things where it's an IKEA shelf that you put together, and I always struggle with those type of things.
So yeah, Jeremy drops it off, and then an hour later he's at his family's a family dinner of his, and he sends me another photo, and he's like, oh, I found this bolt in the truck. Bolt, yeah. I'm just like, oh, what if this is gonna
the one bolt that you actually need. So shout out to your uncle that's got a new gym set. But yeah, roll the intro. So, this week's sport review, I found this so funny. It was last weekend in it was in Barcelona, the MotoGP, and rider, I've no idea how to say his name, Alex Espargaro. So he finished the race, right? He's celebrating, what they do on the bikes. He's celebrating to find that everyone's still going past him. So he's kind of, I don't know if you know.
Maha, man. Alex Espargaro's got a problem. Can you believe this on the last lap? Alex Espargaro is withdrawing from this Barcelona Grand Prix. On the last lap, he got his hand up. We just saw there, Jorge Martin came through on him down the main straight.
Why's he got his thumb up?
Does he think the race is finished? I think he thinks it's over. Oh my goodness, can you believe it? What a howler by Alexis Spargaro.
He's gone and he's come fifth. He's missed out on the podium. So I just want to give a big shout out to him. Hopefully he's watching the podcast.
Has he won? Has he got a podium beforehand?
I don't actually know. We should probably look that up. But yeah, shout out to him. Fucking idiot. I wish. Imagine if as a F1 driver ever done that. Do you know?
I've started celebrating a lap early.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. Not from my memory.
Yeah, I know it's happened in the Tour de France where they've thought the line was like closer than it actually was, so they started celebrating and someone's like kind of gone past him just as he's like putting his hands in the air.
Yeah, or like I know like there's been a couple examples in like gridiron, for example, where they like someone will get like an interception or like a catch and they'll be running for the end zone.
Yeah,
and then they go to like drop it as soon as they enter the end zone, but they drop it on the 1 yard line. So score, the ball has to cross the line, right? So they drop it at the 1 yard line, and there's a video. Who was it? I'm pretty sure it was like USC versus someone, but anyway, he drops the ball at the 1 yard line, and all his team comes into the end zone to celebrate, but the defense realize that the ball's not crossed the line, so they pick it up at the 1 yard line and return it for a touchdown.
Damn.
Because like the team's all celebrating in the end zone.
I want to get a video of that, put it on the pod, but that's insane. I'd feel so embarrassed if that happened to me.
Oh yeah, and imagine running like 50 yards for it.
But even all your teammates, surely one of them would have realised. Like, surely you know.
Well, it's like, I guess like in the video, like they show you, because he drops it like his foot's over the line, but because the ball has to break the line, because he's got the ball by his side, he just drops it, and it's like a couple inches off, so it's not technically crossed.
Yeah, right. And then so the other team obviously allowed to pick it up. Then it's not like
it's still a live ball, yeah. So it just counts as a fumble, and
that's so funny.
Yeah,
no, I'd be so embarrassed. That's like, I feel like that's on par with when you said that, I was like, oh yeah, Nick Revolt going into the open goal in the grand final, getting smothered. Legit. And then the other one would be, I can't remember if that ever happened in a game, but you know, as an Oz kicker, like all the goalposts are like kind of the same height.
Yeah.
So then you think you're running in like kind of you kind of turn and you only see like 2 posts, and you think you're running into like the goals to find that there's actually 2 more posts on the other side. Like you actually just smash the goal. I've never done that. I swear, I don't know if I've ever done it, but I genuinely think I've thought of doing it, or I'm scared of doing that. Like, I don't know.
Speaking about going into an open goal, though, what do you kind of touched on it last week, but I saw someone else do it in the Fremantle game, I think it was.
Oh, yes.
They're running into their open goal, celebrating with the crowd.
I love it.
That's the best thing of footy now.
I think I hate doing... Well, actually, a local game's different to a game at the MCG, obviously, but when in a local game, if you're booing the ball, like... And I know at the showgrounds, you bring the ball in, and if you're kicking towards the house end, like you can kick it into someone's backyard if you do it nicely.
Yeah.
And there's actually a tactic to boot the ball away so the other team takes longer to bring the ball back. Whereas at the MCG, I hate when players think they're big and just like kick it like little one into the fence. I want to kick it into like the third tier.
That's what I'd be aiming for if I'm running.
Yeah, that's what I really wanted to do. And I love the celebration before.
Yeah.
I did see it. I can't remember if it was... it was also Jack Ginnivan. He did it.
Yeah, he did it, and then someone else from a different team did it. And I was like, it's already caught on, but I really like it.
Yeah, no, I love it. But anyways, that was, my little rant there.
That's the footy talk for the week, so...
Oh, no, there's a more footy talk. Do you want to go into the Melbourne FC in shambles?
Yeah, let's hit it.
Yeah, so my fucking favourite team, the Melbourne Demons, thought we were flying. We were 10-0.
Good win culture.
Yeah.
Get them out.
It was a bit surprising. We've been really good in the media in the last couple of years, and there's not been too many like controversial like issues, I guess. But yeah, it kind of came out on Sunday night in Prawn in Melbourne. My favourite probably player at the moment, Stephen May, and Melksham, possibly an undercard coming up in a fight because they got it on like Donkey Kong, and May has ended up apparently on the ground. Melksham's decked him at a restaurant. I know that they destroyed, but yeah, there's something wrong with the admin at the restaurant as well. I can't remember. But yeah, anyway, Melksham's decked May, and in the decking, he's needed surgery in his hand. So he's fucked his hand, Melksham. So you can tell May's like a bit of a rig, but fair play, May is like fucking rig. So he's done well to deck him. The then Maxi Gorn came out today saying there was like a little bit of a rumor, like what was said during the argument, and there's a bit of a banter, I guess, between the club. But one of the lines was, May said to Melksham, if you'd played in the granny, we would have lost, and that's enough to like get me riled up. I reckon if I was like an emergency on grand final day, it's not a nice place to be. Definitely not.
Oh, was Melksham the emergency on grand final day?
So he didn't play. So so May said that, and that would that's a bit of that's probably like crossing the line. But Gorn did come out and say that wasn't said. Apparently, a lot of other stuff was said, but not that. But I found that pretty funny.
But I feel like that's also saving face a little bit because I think that's just it's like shit. Like it would be the worst feeling to be emergency, but I don't think that's worth fighting someone over.
Nah.
Like it's just a bit of like harsh banter, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's probably I reckon it's harsh banter. And apparently it's not even true. So
you're stacking up the losses now. You're
10-2.
You're losing players who are fighting between themselves.
Apparently,
and Petrarca's turning on the crowd.
Yeah, so track came on. I think it was Nova. Something
This is
like that.
crazy.
And he said that because no one's showing up to our games. Like, how are we meant to get like motivated to play well and shit like that? I'm like, mate.
Maybe the millions in your account maybe should motivate you to play well.
The last 2 years are COVID years. Like this year's still kind of recovering from COVID. Plus, everyone's bloody poor because of the expense of living at the moment. We won't get into that much, but he's gone straight to the crowd. I think he'll realise that if hopefully we lose to the Pies because it's a big freeze game this weekend. Hopefully everyone's got their beanies from Bunnings and Coles, but that game should draw a huge crowd just for it being like the Queen's birthday game, and I think like if there's he wouldn't be able to blame the crowd if he loses then. Yeah. So
But you're hoping for a loss. Let me just get that correct. Why?
I think at the moment we're just like Collingwood are a lot better team than us, and to prove Track wrong, that's the crowds. And to humble him a little bit, because I think his head's a bit big. I think everyone's head's so huge. Like going from a granny to winning 10 in a row, everyone's huge. Everyone's head was huge, and everyone's ego is so high. Track thinks he can kick goals from wherever when really like he can't. Yeah. And he's been a bit ill recently, and everyone's kind of.
But then you also don't want to get in the losing habit.
No, but it's fine. It's only in the middle part of the season. I know. Apparently, we're doing like a heavier training load at training, so that might be the reasons why we're kind of struggling in games.
I think all these problems would be fixed though if Gorn just gives us a bounce.
Yes.
I'm so excited. I'm on Gorn bounce tracker right now.
There's because you think about it, he does a bounce. Do you realize he takes the bounce? Do you think the crowd will be like, it's like clapping when he takes a bounce or not?
I'm going to be watching Melbourne games, and obviously they show the person who's got the ball. I will personally celebrate when he bounces the ball.
There's no way in hell. I think
he probably won't ever, but I'm just going to be a Melbourne fan for the rest of my life until he bounces the ball.
He had a fucking great game last week. I tell you what, like 28 touches, 3 goals. Did he? He's so good.
Only one that's playing well for you guys.
Huh?
Only person that's playing well for you guys at the moment.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he is. But we'll move on. We'll move back to
Dane Swan versus Adam Cooney. Who would have thought that, by the way?
Who would have... Yeah.
Look, first off, let's just get out of this way. Stop trying to be Logan Paul and KSI or Sonny Bill Williams. No one actually wants to see Dane Swan.
Paul Gallen?
Oh, Paul Gallen as well, yeah. Like, nobody wants to see Dane Swan and Adam Cooney fight. Not even footy fans.
They call it the Battle of the Brownlows. I don't understand how Adam Cooney won a Brownlow, not going to lie. And then Dane Swan's obviously the GOAT, but part of the Rat Pack at Collingwood in his time there. We'll do a little... we won't even promote where it is. It's in Melbourne somewhere in August sometime. But, I don't understand how that's a fight. But
I want to see Barry Hall versus Paul Gallen. Wait, that's already been a fight. That's already been a fight. I'm an idiot. I'm a fucking idiot.
Gallen won, eh?
Yeah, you did.
That would be a good fight, man. That would be a good fight. But also, Favola is taking on Cameron Mooney.
Who wants to see fucking that?
As a footy fan, I actually do. Like, if it was anyone else, if it was a rugby player versus an AFL player, no.
You know what I want to see? What? I want to see Ben Cousins versus his ice addiction. Mid-ring.
He's doing well.
Is he?
Yes.
Good on him.
I see him on a suit. I see him going out.
Oh, I saw him with the.
Was it Will Brunner?
Yeah.
Yeah, so no, he's doing well, mate. That could be enough for him to relapse. So watch him now. Dylan's not keen for that, but I think I won't go watch it.
No, I'm gonna watch it. It's gonna be laughably bad.
No, it'll be good because it's 2 months to lead up to it, and they'll probably already be training. So,
but it's just old.
Actually,
it's just old guys past their prime.
Yeah, Adam Cooney will get messed up, I reckon.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna put all my money on Dane Swan.
I reckon Dane Swan wins that one, and then what? Cameron Mooney versus Favola. Who do you reckon you got now? I reckon I've got Moons. Favola, mate.
Really?
I see.
Oh wait, Cameron Mooney. I'm sorry. Hold up. Pause. I was thinking of. I don't know who I was saying. I was not thinking of Cameron Mooney. Because he's the one from what's it called?
Geelong.
The Bounce. Yeah. He's also on the Bounce. Yeah. Brandon Fowler's a big guy though.
He is, but I feel like Mooney is like fitter. I see him on the bounce.
I think for my Bounce allegiance,
yeah,
I'm gonna take Cameron Mooney in this one.
Yeah, that's the only thing I was thinking of, like the Bounce, and he looks like a big boy, and he's also played footy recently. I'm pretty sure as well. So
he looks in a lot better current shape right now than Favola looks.
Favola sits on a fucking.
All Favola has to do is go pressure point in the middle, and he's won.
So yeah, that's that. We'll move on to the last thing in sport this week, I guess, and it's happened last night. Don't know if you saw it. I woke up and watched the highlights that came up on my phone. Australia versus the UAE, a World Cup qualifier. They needed to win this game to go on to another game to get into the World Cup. And obviously it's the soccer World Cup.
We're going to the World Cup, baby.
Yeah, well, it looks like it. We won 2-1 last night. That when they scored, we scored the first one, they scored back, and then I was like, fuck, we're done here. Like, normally Australia just crumble, but no, we held out, and we got another goal. Got a new favourite player. I thought about this before, and I've completely forgotten his name. But, you know, the era of, like, growing up watching Cahill, and that's all gone. Like, who's your new favourite player? And this guy, age... Why does everyone have autistic names? Hurstick.
Oh, didn't he play well?
Hurstick, yeah. Hurstick. Oh, I've butchered his name. Anyway, he scored the winner. It was like a deflection, but like he was a powerful kick. He plays for was it Frankfurt? No,
Frankfurt.
That one. Thank you. Yeah, he plays for them, and he's an absolute jet. I love him to bits now, and I'm dying to see him score like a worldie. How do you spell his name? It is Hirustick.
Oh, yeah.
I definitely,
Super Australian last name.
Yes, yeah. You can tell he was born and raised here. It's like, I'm pretty sure that's
how much money do you want to pronounce that his first name's Aiden?
A lot of money. Oh, but why is there a J?
A silent J.
A silent J.
Yeah, especially with a last name like that.
Yeah, silent J and then silent H probably. Rustic. Yeah.
Shout out to him.
Aiden
Shout out to him. 84th minute winner.
Yeah.
But imagine the feels. That's almost on level with like the Aloisi penalty.
Yeah,
actually, let's put a hold on that. His is like the last penalty to send them to the World Cup. His is just a game to keep us alive.
Yeah,
but
I think
good on the man.
So we're coming up against Peru.
That's gotta be a
really
win
soon. Yeah, and I was thinking Peru. Why do I remember Peru? We versed Peru in our group stages in the last World Cup in 2018. Guess what the score was?
I'm going to go 4-0.
2.
2?
To who?
Oh, Australia.
No, we lost 2-0.
Did we lose 2-0?
Yeah. And it was the same year I had France and we had someone else.
That was the year France won it, hey?
Yeah. So, yeah, not looking good. I was like, I'm pretty sure we reversed them before. Yeah, we've lost 2-0. So, hey, I mean, that was 4 years ago. You never know. We might somehow get into the World Cup. But I'm actually keen now.
I want Australia to make the World Cup.
I'm definitely going to watch that game as well.
For sure.
So, it'd be nice to see, even though we get dominated every time, like, there's no point making, like, I say this 2 years from the World Cup. Like, say in 2020, I'm like, oh, who cares if we make the World Cup, we just get dominated. But as soon as it builds up and you're like, oh, my country's in there.
Yeah.
I know we've got no chance.
Well, didn't we miss one of them?
We haven't missed one for a while, though, because we were in 2018.
What? There was an event that we just missed that Australia didn't go to.
Must have been 20... Might have been Asian Cup.
It was the Asian Cup.
Yeah.
And that I felt like I was missing out on something. I'm not a massive Socceroos fan. Like usually we beat England, but it's like I felt like I was missing, especially when we won it in 2015. That was like such a fun memory for me. Like I don't know. I feel like we missed out the Asian Cup.
Oh, what year was the Asian Cup? Is it every 4 years? So 2019. Probably. Or was it every cup?
I don't even know. I don't even know if it's the Asian Cup. It was something. It was like something. I was like, why isn't Australia playing in this?
Was it recently?
Yeah, like very recently.
It wasn't a World Cup then. It might have been an Asian Cup, but yeah, I'm just keen to see the Aussies, the Socceroos out there in the world. Where is this year actually? Oh, it's in Qatar, isn't it? I believe so. Yeah.
Oh, would you say that Australia is similar to the US in example of the women's team being a better team than the men's?
Yeah, definitely.
Because I like watching the Matildas play.
Yeah, definitely. Because just watching Sam Kerr, she's like elite and she scores all these.
It's like watching
goals.
Messi, but Messi plays for your team.
Yeah, legit. And I think I want to see us win the women's Australian team. I want to see us win something because we're always around the mark. I think that American team's really good. I think
so
Canada
stacked.
as well.
Brazil
really
is usually very strong as well.
Yeah, so we actually really I'm more invested in the women's team, but I think that's just the way. It generally is the way the government spend the money. Like a lot of money has gone into women's soccer recently, and there's hardly any in men's. So I guess
it also helps as well when you have like the big name kind of player for your team. Like the Australian team, like we've doing the same for ages. It's missing that Cahill, whereas for the Matildas, like Sam Kerr is like kind of like that Cahill figure. Yeah,
there was one guy. I was watching a podcast. I can't even remember his name. Don't know why I'm bringing this up, but there was one guy that apparently injured his knee and he was meant to be like the next king of like Australian soccer, and I want to say it was around 2012 time. So I can't. It was a while.
Was it like Tommy Orr?
Yeah, I think it might have been. Or no, I don't think it was him. It was some other guy. And he was tearing it up for like Melbourne Victory and all those teams. And then he just did his knee and then turned into like a nobody. Oh, so that kind of sucked.
That's the story of so many people though, that they say, I'd be this, I'd be that if I didn't get a knee injury.
100%. So yeah, that probably rounds up the sport for this week.
Moving on, we have our favourite segment. Had to take a hiatus for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But it's back, the selection table, ladies and gentlemen. So this week, a couple of good ones, star-studded ones, you'd even say.
Yeah.
So this one is a classic family childhood game, Monopoly.
So
what are your thoughts on it? So for the bit of backstory at home for everyone, I made the best decision I probably made in a long time of buying the PlayStation 4 Monopoly game.
Yeah.
And Clay, Drew, myself, and a couple other mates have been playing Monopoly recently this past week, and it's incredibly fun. Like I didn't even realize how fun it actually would be to play Monopoly. Yeah,
it's elite. I'm not gonna lie, the animations are pretty cool. Definitely animations that you don't get in real life, obviously. But I stitch you up. Normally, there's a bit of rivalry around when it's definitely in your family. It's like who gets what item to kind of what do they even call that? Like
a little token or whatever.
Yeah. And I'm normally the race car. Everyone loves the race car, and we started up. We get kicked from the game. Dylan was the car, and I was like, I'm not playing until I'm the car, Dylan. And then I just got a cat just so I can go meow. So Dylan ended up being the dog. I went the cat because just before we readied up, I switched it over, so he didn't notice. But I found the other funny story was you buying it, and
so basically, what I left out is so Clay sends me a message to the group chat. Hey Dylan, buy Monopoly. It's $7. I'm like, yeah, all right. So I go I go to the PlayStation store to start buying it, and in the same group chat, my brother's in the group chat. He messages it, and I see these messaging it. So as I press pay, I look at my phone to open up with like Face ID, and it goes to the group chat which I was just on, and he messages saying, Dylan, don't buy it. I already have it. Just download it. As there's it's loading, and then the tick pops up like, oh, we've sent you your receipt. As I'm looking at the message, I was like, fuck's sake.
So you spent $7 for no reason.
Yeah, $7 just burnt.
Yeah. I found that pretty funny. But I love back to selection table. Actually, it's a long game. It's a very long game. You got to know how to actually play it as well. It's like you can kind of work your way around get properties, get the houses or the rent or the houses, and all that type of stuff. I think you got to play it a bit to kind of get the gist of it. I didn't like what Clay was doing, and Clay would just go into doing the trades, and he wouldn't say anything. He's like, do this, and I want this in return. And I'm like, I have no idea if that's any good. And the other thing is like building up all the money, and like just have negotiations should all be like communicated. Like obviously you're online, so you can talk to one another. Just say it. Like, don't make me give you 700, go all the way to 700. It's like, nah, I actually want 400. I'm like, man, I just spent 10 minutes trying to get it up to 8 or
no, but
700.
that is true though. No negotiations actually get spoken out loud. It's constantly just deal after deal after deal. Where it should just be talked about.
Yeah, it should just say what can I give you? How much money for that blue? I actually don't even know any of the property names.
I'm so bad at Park Lane or something.
Yeah, but there's so many like nerds out there that know every little detail.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if brown is good. I don't know if dark blue is bad. Like I'm just there having a good time with mates.
That's all it is though. Just vibes.
I say it doesn't belong. It doesn't get moved up to ones. I say for myself, I reckon keep it in the twos.
Keep it in the twos.
Yeah,
it definitely can't be dropped to the twos. But I can see why it can't be brought up to the ones.
It's definitely fun. Like I definitely didn't hate it. But it's for me, for my attention, it's like it's pretty long. Like
it's ADHD. You can't focus for an hour.
I was gonna take meth just to keep me up, man.
So moving on.
What about you? Do you reckon that?
If it was onto me, I'd probably bring it up to the ones. But I'm happy for it to stay in the twos.
Yeah. What do you love about it so much to bring it up to the ones?
It's just fun.
Do you reckon it's one of your favourite board games ever?
It's probably like my most played board game ever. Like, cause like Lev and I would play it like so much whenever we'd like go to his house and shit. Yeah. And I don't know, it's just the banter side of it, because people get so mad and like. Yeah. I think that's probably the most fun.
Maybe because they have different themes as well. Like you can have like a Star Wars, you can have like an AFL one, you can have like a Star Wars like themed Monopoly. Yeah. So maybe
that's the only downside of the game though, is that you can't like design and then use your own board.
Yeah, or the video game.
Yeah.
But if it was a Star Wars one, maybe I'm bringing up some ones. Maybe it's just the generic one I don't like.
I think there is a Star Wars one. It would have to be.
It would have to be. There would be a Fortnite one, mate. If the Fortnite one, bring it up to the ones. What's next?
So yeah, moving on. I've been on an absolute tear recently with it. Mm-hmm. The NHL. I mean, loving hockey. What are your thoughts on it?
Have not watched 1 minute of it. Probably might.
You're missing out. You're actually missing out. That's a lie.
I'll probably watch some highlight on TikTok, and that's about as far as it goes. I haven't seen any of it. Not gonna lie.
It is honestly like, it's quickly right. Like, obviously, gridiron's probably my number one favorite sport. It is close to taking over AFL for my second favorite sport. It is that good. I'm not classing motorsports in this, so like ball sports or like.
Why do you love it? Like,
it's just like, it's quick pace. Your skills have to be nice. Like you could, I don't know, something about it. Like your big hits.
What time of the season?
Fighting's allowed.
Yeah. What time? Like, what's the generic time frame? Like in a year? Like, do you know when they start and when the season ends?
I don't know when they start, but so right now, like yesterday, the Western Conference Finals had their fourth game, and they're like doing the Western Conference and Eastern Conference Finals now. Mm-hmm. So like next week or start of the week after should be like the start of the finals essentially. Yeah.
And so you've been watching it the whole season, so you know everything, or do you only watch like the second half of the season?
Also so Lev, like our friend, he's like, his dad's from Edmonton and he's like a hockey fan, so I kind of like keep track of this like this throughout the season through him. Yeah. But then it's only been like this playoffs from like round one where I've actually started watching like the Oilers play. Like I would go to Lev's house, watch them together and shit like that. But yeah, so it's really just the playoffs.
And then you're gonna keep it going like next year.
I'm so excited for the start of next season.
You're gonna get popcorn out. It's not bad because it's probably on pretty early for us as well. It's like is it like the NBA? Like an 8 a.m., like 9 a.m., 8 a.m. sometimes starts, or is it like later?
Oh yeah, so it's like 8 a.m., like 7, 8 a.m. So season starts in October to April. So
it's like it's not too long of a season, and it's kind of September. That's like when the footy ends, so I could probably watch it.
Yeah, do it. It's like it's an 82 game season and then playoffs. So
My height is with because that's cricket season, man. I'm just on the cricket 24/7. And then I'll probably I don't know. That's a shit topic for me to say. I think you're more qualified to say, but I'd bring that down to the twos personally because I don't watch it. But I'll bring it to the twos because I don't watch it. Don't
bring
rate
it to the twos.
But you love it. So
I don't know. I want to get your thoughts, like, because I feel like I'm blinded by.
I feel like do you reckon how many people, if you asked a random 100 people, how many would say, "Oh, I'm invested in the NHL"? In like Perth, if you ask 100 people.
100 random people?
Yeah, of all ages.
I would say like 20%.
20?
I feel like that even could be high.
We should do...
Actually, that's extremely... I feel like that's even very high. Let's go like 2 people out of that 100.
I reckon...
2%. Like have an active invested interest in it, or they know what it is, kind of follow it.
No, it's like...
This is my favourite team.
Yeah, this is my favourite team. This is my favourite player, and like they know like who the best player
Surely
is.
Surely it'd be 5%.
Yeah, I reckon 5. That'd be a good test. Good to go out.
We should go do that.
We should go do
on
that.
The street. 2Ds on the street.
50 people each.
That's like, I feel like why not? Like, honestly, let's put this to the test. 50 people each.
Done. We'll be in Perth next weekend. Come say hello to us. Done.
Done.
Cool. Next.
When I get back from Bali.
Oh yeah, true. You're gone ham in Bali next week, and yeah, true. When you get back,
lady boys, let's go.
Yes, we love that.
And lastly, on the selection table for this week, we spoke briefly about him beforehand. Our favourite boxer, the guy that I think should be versing Dane Swan in that ring.
You'd fucking
Stephen May.
Stephen May, I love that man. So he obviously came from Gold Coast in 2017, I want to say. First year at 2018. Loves the beer. Loves to get on the beers. So I love him for that. Even if he wasn't an AFL player, he loves beers. I'd say
loves a scrap.
He loves a scrap. Just
loves
got
the
dropped.
band.
He got dropped.
He sounds
by
like
the auction. We're probably same height, same build.
Elite defender, just like you.
Both play full back. Just in the men's department, they call that down there. Just an absolute grunt of a player.
Yeah.
You'd hate to go back and play full forward, and if you're looking around, you're like, I want to be in Jake Lever, I want to be in Harrison Petty, and you're lining up a May, you just like...
You know you're having a shit game.
You know I'm having a shit game. I'm pretty sure this is stat, and he's only been beaten maybe 2% this year. 2% of players have beaten him.
Damn.
On a one-on-one contest.
Yeah.
So we're definitely missing
Lockdown.
him. It's probably definitely a reason why we're losing games. So I have to put him up to 1 because I love that man so much, but that's so biased from me. What do you rate him at all?
He's an elite defender.
Yeah,
he's bringing him up to the 1s.
And
he is what you guys are missing.
Yeah, I feel like people love... There's always a conversation who's like the best fullback at the moment. Used to be like Alex Rance. Everyone's like, oh, Alex Rance is so good. Like, he intercept marks, he does everything. Now it's kind of a bit more of an open conversation, but if you had to choose a team, like you can choose one player between these 3, I feel like it's the fairest 3 and kind of get chucked around a bit. Oh no, 4, I'll go. All right, you choose Stephen May, obviously, great player, Melbourne boy.
Yep.
You have Jacob Wietering, Carlton, classic defender.
Yep.
Some people say that's the key to Carlton's success this year. The other one is Harris Andrews, Brisbane, and the last one is Darcy Moore on a lot of money at Collingwood. So out of those 4. And give me your reasons why. Give a rank, I guess, who you would go through. Obviously, number 1 is the one that you want to be on your team. But, yeah.
And so that Stephen May one is... Like, that Stephen May stat, is that like a definite stat, the 2%?
As you go through now, I'll bring it up.
So, like, going off the basis that that's that close, I'm gonna have Stephen May number 1.
Yeah. He's definitely ranked number 1 for like that stat. Like he doesn't get beaten 1-on-1.
I'll take Stephen May because he just embodies a defender. You know what I mean? He just like
he's not quick, but it's hard to move him around the way to kind of get that jump on him. Like I'm always afraid of like new kids, the Max Kings and the Nortons that just fly and grab the ball. He kind of has a weakness there. Yeah. But if he doesn't let him get a run and jump at it, then like you can't beat him really.
So it is a tough one. They're all very close because I probably, if I had to just go straight off, Darcy Moore 4. Wiedering, because realistically, it is like I would personally have it pretty tied between Harris Andrews, Wiedering, and Stephen May. Okay. So we could even I might break the rules a little bit and go golf format and do tie 1. So the top 3 are tied, and then 4s. There's a definite 4 in Darcy Moore.
Don't rate Darcy Moore at all?
Not compared to, like, for who would I want my team. I'd be happy with May, Wiedering, or Harris Andrews. But like obviously I wouldn't mind have Darcy Moore on my team, but I don't think he's in that same group as those other 3.
Yeah, Darcy. No, I don't. I'd put Harris Andrews. I've never rated him, and like, I'm so bad at. Like, if I not so much hate a player, but if I don't rate a player, like, you're done, mate.
You're done.
That's my one, I guess. It actually sucks to hate on a player as well, because obviously they're doing a great job and getting paid a lot more money than me.
They are realistically living our dream.
Yeah. So I've never really rated Harris Andrews, so I'd put him 4. I just don't really... I feel like he gives up so easily. Like, when things aren't going his way, I just see him giving up, and then I put... Wiedering, 2, and then Moore 3. But, yeah, I thought that was like a little cheeky thing. I'm just trying to bring it up. Yeah, so Stephen May has been beaten... Oh, no, so the stat is... Oh, fuck, I have to get it back up. The stat is 5.1, 5.1, and that's contested defense loss percentage. So... Yeah, run that the numbers, you get to 5.1. And then the next one is Luke McDonald, 5.3. Griffin Logue, Jared Wirtz, Lemons. But obviously, May probably has one of the most contests like out of anyone. So it's probably not just defense as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's crazy. I guess another one of those names is Dylan Grimes. He's probably up there as well. Tom Jonas down at key defender. Sam Taylor's kind of coming up. So there's definitely people on the rise. But yeah, I'd say May would be number 1 for sure.
Just biased Melbourne fan right there.
Yeah, we love that. Now, I posed a question to you this morning. Mm-hmm. And I said, Dylan, I want you to come up with your top 5 nostalgic video games. And I thought that was a great topic because, I don't know, I downloaded... This might be a little hint into what I vote, but I downloaded Lego Star Wars last night. I know you have the game. I'm very pleased with it.
Elite game.
It's a lot of running around, I find, but the worlds that they've created in Lego is like insane, like 10 times better than what they made back in the day. But what were yours? Should we do it in 5, 5, 4, 4, 4, kind of go all the way down to like our number 1 pick? Do you reckon that's fair?
Right. Yeah, okay.
Too easy. So, Dylan's top 5.
So
number 5.
Number 5?
Yep, number 5. What have you put there?
At number 5, I have F1 Race Stars.
Oh, now I've played this game. Fucking phenomenal game.
It's very good.
I played it with Jacko back in the day. I didn't even like F1, so I didn't even know. I knew because Mark Webber is in the game. Was it? Yeah. And I was like, it's Australian. Like, it was so fun. And the only thing I didn't like about it was... they had like shortcuts. And, And you had to you had to know. And like watching people online and they take these shortcuts. I'm like, how are these people coming in front of me? Like, what's happening? And then I'm like, I'm not taking the shortcuts. But once I found them out, you gotta get like a key. Remember, you had to get a key. I can't remember if it was obviously one of the maps. And you had to like get a key to unlock a door, and then you could go through it. And it was so fun though.
It's an elite game, very good game.
Do you have anything to say about it?
Other than it, I don't know. That was what got me not into F1, but like made me, I reckon, get into racing games more a lot. Yeah. I reckon is.
Were you big on the racing games back in the day?
Well, I'd played I'd played them from like 2010, 11, and then like 12. Like I think I got Race Stars around that same time. But like obviously when you're younger, I think it's a lot more fun to play like the cartoony kind of version of it instead of the more sim version. Yeah, it did have like I don't mind those cartoony games though. It was kind of like Mario Kart, but just like F1. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But who do you have? What's your game at number 5? So number 5, had to go with a cricket game because
And yeah, I just want to put it out there that these are obviously our top 5. You guys will have completely different top 5s. Probably all going to like be the COS and shit like that. So yeah, I was the classic kid that loves sporting games. So I've gone with the Ashes Cricket 09. Now, I got this game. I even remember it. So it must have been 2010. I didn't even get it in 2009, but it was on either sale or I was like looking. I'm like, where can I buy this beautiful game? I haven't even played it yet. And it was like Dick Smith from back in the day. Dick Smith. And it was one in Joondalup. And I tell you what, fucking ever since then, I love that game. I haven't played it in a while though. Got it on disc and PC. But I can love that game. Just the vibe of just everything about it. I would be up late at night, just going ham, trying to make 200 plus. Like, it was honestly so fucking fun. Even to the point where it was annoying. It was like licensed, so it had all the players, right? So it had like your Ricky Pontings and the Clark, because it was back in those days. But the older I was getting, and they didn't really make too many cricket games. So what I had to do is like custom make my own plays. So as those like of those players retiring, like the new players, like the Warners and all those weren't on the game yet. No, actually I think Warner was, but say Phil Hughes wasn't on. Oh no, Phil Hughes was on the game. Who was? Say Steve Smith. He definitely wasn't on the game. Like I'd have to custom make him and put him on the list, and you could only make 15 players. Oh. So it was annoying because I would have to make those 15, and then the next tour I'd have to make like new players and get them in and out. But no, I love that game. Did you ever play it?
I didn't ever really.
Have you ever played any cricket games?
Other than like Ashes cricket, like not really. Hey,
Yeah.
I played like a couple times at Duncan's house. I think it would have been like a Ricky Ponting, but I never actually owned one or played it.
Yeah. But that was my number 5. What's your number 4?
Number 4, I have Spyro coming in.
Spyro?
Can't
really remember.
It's like the purple dragon.
Yeah, okay.
And then, honestly, I don't even really remember much of what the story is even about, if I'm honest. I just remember I used to like smash that game out when I was a little kid, just like flying around and
That's
shit.
probably the best games though as well. Like the ones that you're too young to even remember.
Oh, yeah.
Have you played it since?
They did a remaster of it. I wanted to buy the remaster to actually like play the story, but I didn't end up buying it yet.
Yeah, right.
What do you have it coming in at number 4, Drew?
Number 4. So I've got the classic game of probably the number 1 game of that console, I guess, which is Wii Sports.
Wii Sports.
Wait,
Wii Sports Resort or just Wii Sports?
Nah, just Wii Sports. The classic game. Had your tennis, had your bowling,
boxing,
bit of golf, boxing, one more.
Baseball,
that's the one. And you could own it any day. You'd be feeling, I want to be playing some golf today. And the classic. Do you ever play Wii Sports?
Yeah.
I'm guessing you did. Yeah, every pretty much kid that grew up in our era did. But the map where you had like a little island and you could take a shortcut. So like most players would go down there. But if you get the right line and the right power, you could land on like this little island. Do you remember?
I never attempted that.
Oh no, it was insane. No, you definitely would have. I'm gonna put a little clip up now, but yeah, it was like not like an island, but it was.
Oh, okay.
What it was. Remember I'm shit at golf. I don't know any golf terms, but you want to land on the green, right?
Yeah.
And is it the rough that you don't remember? If you land on the rough, you go back to like where you were. Do you remember that at all? So what it was,
like you'd just been like out of bounds.
Out of bounds, yeah. So what it was is the rough. I think it was the rough. I think that's the out of bounds part, and it was just like a little green patch. Yeah. And if you land on it, then you can like if you took that shot, then the next shot was really easy. But you'd have to get the perfect like accuracy, perfect like, pretty much hit to get that. Yeah. And then if you didn't if you landed too far or too short, then you'd have to retake your shot. So you'd spend hours just trying to get the right timing
practicing.
And So love that part of the game. That's my number 4. And if my Wii was still working, then I'd still play it. I feel like those games, obviously we can still play it now. We can just buy a Wii, but on a night, say you get the boys to come over, getting drunk and playing Wii Sports. I don't know if that suits anyone else, but I feel like that'd be so fun. Not gonna lie. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is Crash Bandicoot. The actual game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just gonna make that clarification.
Not the
later.
remastered.
Not the remastered. Like obviously we're talking about PS2 days. But like Crash Bandicoot 2, I want to say.
Yeah.
Just so much fun. That's probably my. I'm not gonna say all-time favorite because there is 2 more coming in higher at this, but it is definitely these top 3, probably interchangeable with each other. But a massive distance between these top 3 of mine and Spyro in 4th.
Yeah, okay. Have you played it? So obviously it's a PlayStation 2 game, right?
Yeah.
So you haven't played it recently. Do you still?
I bought the remaster and played the remaster.
Was the remaster any good or not?
Yeah, it was fun. I really liked it, yeah.
Do you remember like much about playing it back in the day?
Like, so have you played Crash Bandicoot? No. So there's like, it's like a pretty famous mission of like there's like a massive like boulder essentially, and like you have to run. It's like you're running towards the camera, so like you watch the boulder coming towards you.
Oh yeah.
And as a kid, I remember I used to like fail that one. Like, it was the hardest level to beat. And I get to the remaster, and I'm like 19. Get to the remaster, and it was like it was like the easiest mission. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, fuck, like, how did I fail this much when I was a little kid?
Yeah. Do you remember like? So you obviously remember that mission. Does there other like missions that you remember? Because can they make the remaster a bit easier, or do you reckon that was like the difficulty you just as a little kid?
I was just a crap when I was a little kid.
No,
because
that's definitely the case. Because that's pretty much my number 3. Or not, obviously I've got different ones. My one was Star Wars Battlefront 2, the 2005 version. That was the game. It was like the Spyro one. Like, I didn't know what was happening.
Yeah.
And there was missions, and I was somehow completing the missions, and all these games, other than the Wii, were all on on computer, on PCs.
Yeah.
So, like this game, going back now, I have actually played it recently. It has been a couple of years though, but the graphics are so crap.
Oh.
And it's one of those games where I want them to desperately make like Star Wars games like that, because what it was, I'm pretty sure what you'd do is you start off as like a stormtrooper or like a clone or whatever, and you could go the opposite. You could go like the Sith side and be a battle droid, and you just verse other battle droids and stuff like that, and then you get to a point where if you've been doing alright, you get to turn into a Jedi and just go ham, and there's only like a limited time that you could be a Jedi. It was like 5 minutes, say, and like complete the missions, but it was the funnest like 5 minutes.
Have you played the new Battlefront?
I have.
That's like very similar, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't really remember the new new ones.
I didn't play the old Battlefront. I only played like the new one, and I reckon the new one got hated on when it first came out. I played it recently, and it's actually like fun. I enjoy playing it.
I feel like they've gone to the kind of COD side of things, whereas those ones were like they were more campaign things.
Yeah.
So obviously there was an online element that you could do, but the one game mode I did like from the new ones was like the heroes. I can't remember what they call it. I think it was probably heroes versus villains.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much like you had five heroes, and they'll all be different, of like the main characters, main Jedis, and like the Princess Leias and all that, and then you have like the villains and whatever. That was like a really fun game mode, but yeah, I honestly loved that game to bits. I didn't know what I was doing, but you know those games.
It is one of those games.
Yeah. So what's your number 2 then?
Number 2, we have, I don't know, I hope you've played this, Ultimate Spider-Man. So it's on the PlayStation 2, and it's called like Ultimate Spider-Man. It's like a comic kind of art style type. Yeah, right. I'll hope that you've seen it.
There was one Spider game that I did play. I can't remember what it was though, because they.
So like you verse, I'm sure I'll put covers or something like that on the screen. So like you verse Venom in there, and like you have to race like Johnny Flash. That mission was so hard when I was a little kid.
So it was like more of a comic.
It was it was like a comic kind of art style toward like through, and then like if like like the Spidey senses come up, it'd be like comic lightning bolts around his head and shit like that. Yeah. And I definitely remember playing one because it was legit. Oh, yeah. I remember playing a Spider-Man game. Can't remember what, like, I was trying to look at the gameplay, and my memory is so shit, but. Yeah. See? But then, So like it looks like it's a comic book.
Yeah,
and then it cuts out.
I reckon I played something
It
like
was
this.
so good.
It was around. Yeah, they'd always make the video games based on the movies, and it just sucked. And I haven't played the new ones, and I really want. I've said
The
this
new ones
so
are so
long.
good.
I've said this so long. I just want to borrow someone's like CD. I don't want to go out and buy it now. I'm just too afraid. I'll probably go to cash converters and get it for like $5.
You probably could, or like EB Games.
Yeah, but there was a new. I'm actually not too sure what it was called, but is it Marvelous Spider-Man? Is that a movie?
Are you talking about the new one, Miles Morales?
Yeah. So, have you played that?
I have played that. Not as good as Amazing Spider-Man,
Okay.
but you follow Miles Morales through it, so you don't even really play as Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And you have it's like I don't even know the word for it, but it's essentially like an electricity punch, like off rip. It's like one of his abilities, right? So then it goes from kind of the old, like I played like the Amazing Spider-Man, and then because I bought it at the same time, I was going to go straight through and play like Miles Morales.
Yeah.
So you go through like this Amazing Spider-Man where it's like actual Spider-Man where you have to like web sling like shit across rooms and all that. And then you come into Miles Morales and he's like got like super strength or whatever because he's got like this electricity ability.
right.
So you have to like, in the old one where you had to turn on generators or whatever, now you can just like punch them on, and because you've got like an electricity fist, it counts as like electricity, if that makes
Well,
sense.
is it Spider-Man himself?
This is Miles Morales,
Okay.
but that's who you're playing as in Spider-Man. So
yeah, right. But you didn't enjoy that as much.
I didn't even finish it. It wasn't my type of game.
Did you play most of the Spider games growing up, or just that one? But no,
I played like Spider-Man 2, like based off the movie and shit like that.
Yeah. I was definitely tempted to buy. Oh no, I definitely tempted to put that on my list actually. Like a Spider-Man. I can't really remember what it was called though.
What do you have at number 1?
So I had number two. Number 2, love this game to bits, and I still occasionally play it because it is a PC game. Love the PC games around here. It is Need for Speed Underground 2. Oh my god!
Speed Underground.
Did you ever play this game?
Yeah. Or wait.
It's
I did, but I never not heaps. Not heaps.
It was so pretty much. It was like a normal kind of Need for Speed game, I guess. Nothing to what they make nowadays. Need for Speed games now are just like I don't even know a way to describe
Need for
it.
Speed, like what Forza is now, is what we like you back Need for Speed used to be. If that makes sense.
Is it?
Well, like back in Need for Speed's like dead now compared to what Forza is, but back in the day, like Need for Speed was like the thing.
So the way that I don't know if you guys know anything about it, but the Need for Speed back in the day, and this game particularly, was just like you have like a certain amount of cars. Like, I was pretty sure you started with 5 cars.
Yeah.
And you kind of, as you progress, you unlock more and more cars.
Yeah.
And you would have like a car, say you've got a Skyline. Skyline was probably the last car that you could get in the game. It was either Skyline, and then my brother loves Skylines. I always went with the the Mustang GT. Love that car a bits.
Yeah.
And you could do drifting with this car. You can do like circuit races. You could do whatever. And there was like different types of races. Whereas nowadays, they make the Need for Speed games like you have a car, right? And you can only do like this type of race with it. And then you got to have another car to do like a drifting race. And then the whole nice part of they make the worlds really big, which is great. I did play the Need for Speed game that came out a couple ones ago, not the most recent one, but I think it was 2 times. Can't remember what it was even called. But yeah, played it. And it's like back in the day, the graphics are shit, but honestly, love
Better
that game. Yeah, the Underground 2
it's
game.
it's like the back in the day like FIFAs and stuff though. Like,
Yeah.
nothing will beat those FIFA 15 like Gervinho, Barbo.
Legit. So down to number 1. Number 1, what have you got?
I have.
Hopefully I know it. Do I know it? Do you reckon?
Hopefully, this is the game
Sounds
of my
like Wii
childhood,
Sport.
man. Crash Team Racing.
Crash Team Racing.
So
Crash Team Racing.
essentially, it is like it's kind of like F1 Race Stars, like how F1 Race Stars is Mario Kart but Formula One. This one is essentially Mario Kart but like Crash Bandicoot.
Oh yeah, I've definitely played it.
The most fun game I'd ever played as a kid. This was like the go-to. This is my favorite game as a kid.
So came out in 1999. You're old, man.
I was born in 2002, but like
No, definitely. I mean,
Slapped.
there's a Crash Nitro car. Is that similar? Or do you remember playing this one here?
Oh, hold on, let's have a look at.
Because there was the most recent one. They've got one that came out a couple of years ago. The Crash Team Racing Nitro Fuel. I don't know if you played that one, but I do remember seeing this. You love Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, sorry, look, mate. I was growing up. That was the go-to. But no, I played what's called Crash Nitro Kart as well.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of, not gonna lie, being as young as I was, it was probably a mix of both games that I'm having like the fond memories of. So I'll lump them both, Crash Nitro Kart and Crash Team Racing, just as one.
Yeah, okay.
But like those like two kind of
Those
Crash
two
racing games were. I haven't bought the remaster though yet.
Okay.
Because I don't want to ruin the
it.
nostalgia of like I'm just gonna leave it.
Yeah, no, just leave it. All these games, I feel like, because you probably haven't played any of these games in a while, eh?
Not really.
No.
I
And how much money would you pay to play those 5 games like tomorrow? How much money are you willing to pay?
So a lot.
A
like
lot?
I reckon.
Some games are really hard to
this-
find nowadays.
But at the same time though, like if I wanted to, I could play like Spyro and like Crash Bandicoot.
True.
So I don't.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like it is just you're looking back with those rose-tinted glasses, and you're like when you're a kid that young, anything is fun to you.
Yeah, legit. I feel like your siblings as well, like, put a lot of like value into those like games as well, because I had an older brother, and he kind of like most of those games he probably definitely played, other than cricket. The other games he definitely would have played.
Yeah.
So I feel like, thank God that he put me onto those games. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But my number one is
Ooh.
Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga. Absolute
is.
iconic game. So I remember I got the first. So the Complete Saga is the one with all 6 movies. And then there's the one before. I can't even remember what it's called. It's like the trilogy or whatever.
I was gonna put this game in my top 3, but I saw it down on yours, so I thought we'll have completely independent lists.
Fair
but
enough.
this game is
So
the best.
I remember it would have been like 2008 Christmas, I want to say, and my old man got me the one that's goes from episodes 1 to 3.
Yeah.
And I loved it to bits, mate. I would play this game on repeat pretty much, and now playing the new one, I'm like, I feel like I've done it already. The first 3 movies I've done a lot, but the rest I haven't even done 7 to 9. And I can't even remember if I finished 4 to 6.
I think. What was your favorite part about this? And this is gonna be a real determining factor.
Yeah.
What was your favorite part about the old game? Because if you're not about to say the answer that I'm thinking of,
What was my favorite part?
what was like the best bit?
Best bit?
Like, what was the best part of playing Lego Star Wars Complete Saga? Like, what was
the best, like, say the best, like, quest?
no, not best quest, but like, what was your favorite pastime on the game?
I don't know what you're gonna say. I feel like all I can say is playing like episode number 3 and doing the last mission, like with Anakin versus Obi-Wan. That's my favorite.
That was an elite mission.
Yeah. What were you gonna say?
I was just fucking around in the cantina with all the characters. How fun was that?
I liked going back because there'll be doors that you can only access with certain characters, and they'll make it characters that you're not playing with it at that point. So you'd have to go back and get like a C3PO and put him in and like access that door. There's a lot of ones like Boba Fett, because obviously Boba Fett and Jango Fett aren't really in the movies and game that much, so having to go back and grab them. But yeah, I enjoyed going into, I can't remember, all the Star Wars fans like going crazy right now. Going into like the tank and building like your own like person. Do you remember doing that? I don't remember.
We've had this conversation beforehand. I didn't remember when they first released the game. I'm pretty sure we've had it on this podcast.
Yeah.
Because when I bought it, you'd asked me, "Can you do that?" And I didn't even remember doing that as a kid.
Okay. So that's probably the only thing. I love the game to bits. But yeah, really keen to kind of play the new one as well. But yeah, that's on my number 1. Do you have any honourable mention, like honourable ones that didn't quite make it? I've got a couple. Not like FIFA's made it. I feel like FIFA. My first FIFA was FIFA 9. Remember it? Dad was a legend. And he took me to EB Games. And it was a day I had school. Like the day you don't have school, you're like I was a little kid that I was definitely sick.
Yeah.
But that day, I think I was the same sickness I am right now. I still can't really breathe down my nose. I sound English, but he took me to EB Games and he's like, mate, I want you to have the best day of your life. And we bought FIFA 09 and it wasn't the best day of my life. That was my first
Those old
FIFA.
FIFAs when Messi was on the cover.
Yeah. So the cover this year, I always said it was Rooney and Ronaldinho from AC Milan. So, I love that game to bits.
Like those like FIFA 12 to like 15-ish kind of.
Yeah. FIFA 12 was iconic. Do you have any honorable mentions at all?
Look, other than Lego Star Wars, I definitely would have had that on my list.
Mm-hmm.
But, did you ever play Medal of Honor? That's a game I used to absolutely tear on.
No,
But it's like, it was one of those games. So Medal of Honor, I want to say Medal of Honor 2, right? Basically, and I just played this one mission over and over again. I'm not even play the one mission. Yeah. So in the game, you start off and you land at, I'm pretty sure it's like Normandy. Like it's like World War II, right?
Yeah, okay.
So you land on the beaches and they're firing at you from like the top of the beach and you've got to, I didn't realize that you're supposed to like fight your way up the beach and then like there's the mission continues, right? Yeah, okay. So like as a kid, the amount of hours that I spent constantly just like firing up at the thing, but like not pushing forward and just hiding behind like different things and just like a constant flow of enemies and I'm shooting back at them and it's just like death after death.
Yeah. That's definitely the thing as a kid that happens 100%.
Oh, so much.
And you could watch like a little cousin like do that now and you can just never tell them like, if you actually, because I can't even remember what game it was, but one of those games where just like things just keep on respawning and you got to kill the thing that's respawning it.
Yeah,
and if you don't kill it, then they just keep on coming. Yeah. And like now you're like, if I just kill this.
But even games nowadays do a lot better job of telling you about than back in the day. But an honorable mention that I can't believe you missed. The Simpsons Hit and Run.
That was a fucking elite game. I never had it. I never owned it. But at Jacko's house on the PlayStation 2, I want to say. Great game. Now that you're saying all these, there was... my brother and his best mate used to... Like, my brother's best mate used to bring his like whole PC over to my brother's house. Yeah. And so I'd be on Dad's computer, they would be on theirs, and would play World of Warcraft. Yeah. It was like connected to the LAN though, and I was just that dumb like sibling that I was only there to make up the numbers pretty much. Like they didn't really need me. But I found that fun.
So did you have a PS2?
No, I didn't. My first console would have been the Wii. I was one of those ones. And then I got my PlayStation 4, so I was so happy. I reckon. So, what was the other one that you were just about to say?
Yeah, which one?
I feel like there was one more game that after Simpsons Hit and Run. Oh, no, it must have been
Simpsons. It was in our Simpsons Hit and Run. So, are we bringing the new segment this week, or are we closing it here?
No, I can close it here.
Close it
here? Thank you for watching, listening, subscribing.
Like, comment,
turn
follow.
on those notifications. I'm trying to remember what Logan Paul says at the end of his podcast. Snoop Dogg on next week. No, he's busy, I think.
We have Bryce Cotton on next week.
Yeah. Well, I think we might get a little cheeky guest on next week. Dylan's gonna be in Bali living it up, unless
there actually will be someone. We talked about this last week. Yeah, they are making their debut.
But even then, could you run? Do you reckon we could do like a virtual podcast? Like you bring over the gear, or no? Don't have enough room in that suitcase.
I could definitely zoom in.
Yeah.
I could definitely.
Do you know? Have you spoken to like what the internet's gonna be like over there? Do you reckon? Are you gonna bring anything over?
I'm sure. Like I'll have my phone. I don't know if I'll bring my computer or not, but worst comes to worst, I'll definitely be able to Skype in or something like that.
That'll be cool.
But too easy.
Too easy.
Catch us next week.
Later.